So I hope you could enjoy that too, in the sense of, wow, that's not of this world either. Wow. So today we listened to a very specific tape of Joel, and I'd like to take another look at it just before we listen to Joel. And it is a very interesting tape this time, I think. It is putting a lot of things in perspective and in line for us. And that's, I don't know if you listened to it. Did you already listen to the tape? Yes, I did. Yes, that's wonderful. So the tape 223B, the title, oh good, great. The title of it, I always have to look for that. I cannot, one way or another, I cannot remember it, but I have some help here. So I'm going to share some of the transcript on this screen because I want to read something to you. So there are a couple of things in the text that is really great, because since you received the transcript too, it's very useful to check out what Joel exactly says, because when you listen to it, you hear it, but then something needs to happen still before you really hear what he says, and how that relates to you, which is also a part, and before you can accept it as, oh yes, absolutely. Then Joel is already further in his talk. So it's good to stand still and turn off the tape now and then, and it's like, wait a minute, let's get me the transcript and take another good look at what he's actually saying. So that was what I was doing today. And then it is like, there's so many places where you want to stop and take another look at and contemplate about it. So one tape is a lot of work, so to speak, for a week. If you really want to dive into the aspects that he's sharing, it is like you can't even do that. There is so much in there that is for you to accept about yourself, or to check out, where do I find myself in my spiritual awakening. That one tape would be enough for months in that sense, because he tells you not just a little bit, it tells you everything. In fact, the whole infinite way is being say put together, summarized, or say deepened in this talk, specific talk to the private 25, which is an expanding group, and you're part of it. So you signed up for it too, and in the recognition that it resonates with you, and that's so great. So yeah, let's take a look at this transcript. I have to find it first, of course, so just a second. Yeah, I can do this. Let me see. I got it here. Yes, so now, yeah, there it is. So I'll share it with you. So here, you see this. So this is page 6, but I want to go to page 3. He says something on page 3. Look at this. He talks about the way that the infinite way is being taught, in fact. Let me see if I can find it, because that's another thing, of course. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. So he's talking about the principles, of course. I mean, those 5 principles that he shares. Let me see if I can find them back. I thought they were on page 3, I mean. Yeah, here it is. So it will be with the infinite way. If you really, here it says on top, if you really learn the principles of the infinite way, you can present it inspirationally. It doesn't have to be a dead letter, but it'll have to be factual. That's important. Like, take care of the principles that he shares. It doesn't have to be a dead letter, but it needs to be factual. The principles of the infinite way, what are they? There is one power, and that's the power. This is the nature of error, non-power. This realization of God as I, not something to be prayed to out there. The nature of prayer, as we understand it, not as the world understands prayer. Those are the principles that constitute, and above all, what is the highest principle? That nothing in all our books will ever heal a headache. That these are only statements until you go back inside and feel that. And then when that comes, the Spirit itself, you're a healer. So this is essential. Like, this is so great that he puts it this way. It's like, don't forget these 5 principles. And then the most important one. Nothing in all our books will ever heal a headache. It's not about what is in the books or how it's being said. No, it is about what do you accept? Like, what do you feel? What do you experience? Are you able to commune, in fact? So then we skip through and we go to 6, I think. Yep, 6. Now we come to something entirely different, it says here. When an individual is spiritually illumined, then we'll go all the way back to whether it is Krishna, Buddha, Lao Tse, Jesus, John, and in the modern days I would include Mrs. Eddy. If you ever make contact with them, you will never get anything of a human nature. Never. They will not be concerned with you as a human or what you're going to do as a human. They will never recognize you as a human, and you won't know them as a human. But from them or through them, you will receive inspirational truth, spiritual truth. You may even hear, God is love. Or know ye not, I am with you always. It will always be on that plane that you expect to receive from your teacher or from your ideal of what a teacher should be. It will never come down to the level of blaming you for yesterday's faults or talking to you about tomorrow. It will always be just, I am with you, or trust the Spirit. Or there is a spirit in man. Acknowledge him in all thy ways. And then you'll know that you're not dealing with anybody on the human level, but someone who has left the human level and doesn't live in it. Then he explains the 3 stages of man. And you should read that. That's really great too. So there's one more part. Okay, so here. Now the spiritually illumined, you pass out to both the physical sense of life and the mental, and you begin to live in what is called the soul. That's your true being, I. And when you are living in there, you have a mind and you have a body, and they are your instruments. You're not somebody else's instrument, but your mind and body is your instrument. And you're living in the soul. That is why you can be in this world. You can enjoy food. You can enjoy a nice automobile trip. You can enjoy a nice vacation. But they're absolutely unimportant, because it makes no difference what you are doing with the mind or body. You're only doing it as suffered to be so now. That's not your life at all. Your life is up here in the soul. And when you tabernacle, you're tabernacling with the soul of a person. You don't care about their mind. You don't care about their body. You don't care about their art. You don't care about their literature. You feel in them an integrity. You feel in them a soul. And even if they're not awake to it yet, you know it, you can feel it, you can see it. So I love that, to share that. So then the question is, how is this for you? How are you experiencing yourself? How are you experiencing coming to this meeting and participating in this? What does it do to you when you listen to Joel? What happens when you listen to Joel? Is it like, oh, it's so relaxing, it's so great, and you receive it that way? See, I'm not saying that there's a good or bad way to do it. It is just look honestly at about what is actually occurring when you listen to it. Are you being activated to discover more, to see like what is actually occurring in my awakening? Do I feel what Joel says? And yes or no? You know, things like that. So it can help you to say, to learn, to find yourself, like, where am I with this? And that can be a great discovery for yourself. So it's like Joel gives constantly instruction, and like I said, the in one tape you would have enough material for a whole month of study. And so we race through it. This is what I'm aware of today. It's like we race through this. In fact, we spent just a little time in listening to it, preparing maybe a little bit, reading transcript parts of it, or maybe you made transcript and really got deeply into this. So like, this is all, it is whatever you want to do with it, however you want to be part of this. And it asks your focus. So do you care about something else? Are you distracted by doing something else but this? And you care about it, then you're lost in it. And that's all right too. Like, you chose to get lost in that. There's nobody else doing that to you. It's like, oh, my mind is so slippery. No, you chose to go in there. You chose to do that. And that is the difference. So, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, there's no judgment related to it. It is just, does it have to do with waking up? See, and how you experience yourself is the answer to that. It's like you're in the direct experience of receiving the consequences of how you're awakening. That's how it is. Like, on a moment by moment basis, you get exactly what you ask for. I'm in so much conflict. I don't know. I don't really like this. Well, you asked for it. You literally invested in it. You asked for it. That's why it's happening. So there's a way of, getting out of this. There's a way of not being distracted by mind, not being distracted by body. But see, that is like, you cannot force it and say manage yourself out of it. No, it is a process that takes place despite of what you think about yourself. But if you take time to become still and to say invest in that, like in your relationship with God, with you, with I, then you come to know the I. It's as simple as that. Once you start to say put all your faith in that, first your faith, then there will be, say, things that you will have to accept about the truth about you. And if you do that, then you see that goes further. Like, you move through a new phase into a different phase. So if it's still interesting to you to discuss this truth, so to speak, to discuss this, what is going on, to discuss if it's right or wrong or all this, and you know what I'm saying. It's like, then that is still very attractive to you. So you get the consequences of your thinking, of your focus on the mental plane. And like Joel gives the example of the illumined here. like Buddha, and you can be on the list too. Like, it is a recognition. Illumination is a recognition. It's not an accomplishment. No, just like you start to see the impersonalness of what is occurring about yourself, about your body, about your mind. You see the impersonalness of it. You see the meaninglessness of it. You see that it has nothing to do with you as you are as a soul. So yeah, how quick I move through it. See, this asks for study, for deep looking at it. So I don't want to spend too many words on this, but you start to feel where I'm coming from, and that this is a beautiful, especially this tape is a beautiful, reference, or almost like an assessment to discover for you, where are you in your mind? Where are you in your awakening? Where are you? Are you in your soul realization? Are you in your soul focus? Or are you completely distracted by something else? So you choose the experience that you want to have. That is completely up to you. That is a conscious decision. That is at least a decision you make, whether you're conscious of it or not. I can say that too. So today then, so I've got to share the title. Did you see the title? Do you know the title? Truth as it is the truth. This is what I remember. So you can say it like this too. Truth is true and nothing else is true. And what you are in reality is what truth is. Like you're a whole part of truth itself. And that's not happening in your ideas about yourself. It is not happening in the way that you can look at yourself with your 5 senses. And it has nothing to do with any of that. No, it is allowing your soul to speak through you, as you, in you, and connect with that. And so Joel tells us more about that. So I want to listen to the first half hour, even though the rest is great too. So I would really invite you to listen to the whole tape again, and after this, and you'll see how much is in there. Like what an incredible resource. If you use it for your awakening and for study, for taking time, for your work, so to speak, for your inner work. That's great. So thank you for your attention. And